Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is M.Jefry. I'm from Management Pararel and my student ID 060. Tariff and counter-tariff may mark the start on an inevitable showdown between the world's two most important nations by Michael Sussman. Let's not sugarcoat it anymore. The US and China are in a trade war 2 weeks after President Trump imposed broad tariff on import of steel and aluminum from China and other countries. He started the process of slapping punitive duties on tens of billions of dollars of China's import and restriction on China's investment in US in Beijing. President Xi Jinping was quick to retaliate, hitting US export of nut, pork, and other products with tariff and warning that measure could come. The Chinese embassy in Washington, in a formal statement, pledged the country would fight to the end. Economists and Wall Street bankers are providing estimates of what a trade war would cost in economic growth, jobs, and corporate earnings, but the bigger long-term consequences are hard to forecast. Perhaps this trade war will be resolved through negotiation, as U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, an architect of Trump policy, has suggested. Talks between the two sides already appear to be underway. Behind the scan and without the hyperbole, the crisis might dissipate into a big nothing, with Xi tossing a few cautionary crumbs and an impotent and inconsistent Trump, who may prefer quick, tweetable win to the hard work of changing the Chinese trade practice that really threaten U.S. business. But a darker possibility cannot be ruled out. This trade war may be a critical turning point in history, the moment when the irreconcilable ideological and economic difference between the world's two most important countries burst into the open. In the case, the world may never be the same. Some experts would argue that such a conflict was inevitable, that as reigning superpower, the US will at some point face a confrontation with an up-and-coming one, as has happened throughout history. Destiny of otherwise today trade war is a result of major policy change in China and the US. Trump and Xi have but stake their political future on making their nation great again, resulting in a clash of nationals with potentially dire consequences for everybody. However, the current trade path works itself out. Its fundamental causes are going away. Trump is breaking with the decades of U.S. foreign policy designed to avoid just such a conflict. Ever since Richard Nixon made Mao Zedong in 1972, Washington's strategy has been to coax China into the international order created by the U.S. and allies after World War II. Trade and investment will bound the country to Western democracies. The U.S. opened its hard consumer market to China's export and invite Beijing into the foundation institution of the global economy, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the World Trade Organization to give China and stake in the free world economic system. The whole idea was to cooperate with Beijing push for economic development to transform it from potential adversary to ally and possible from dictatorship to democracy. That case has become hard to make. Part of the reason is political. Many politicians in the US and fixing more on the precise downside of China's risk, suppose loss of jobs, industry, and competitive, and less on the benefits of lower price to consumer and expanding business opportunities to U.S. corporations. Also, following Trump's change of course is real frustration at major U.S. companies over the slow pace of market opening reform in China and their persistent ill-treatment Beijing bureaucrats. A much bigger factor is the newspaper headlines may blame Trump for setting off the current trade war, but that's no entry fight. She is just a culpable, perhaps even more so. Like Trump, he was also broken with his predecessor. China was never really following the path that was anticipated. It borrowed the tools and tripping of capitals while dispensing with the liberal political, economic, and social principles that have traditionally accompanied. But early regions were at least slow, allowing the market and private sector more influence in still state-led economy. She has turned toward more national politics. He painted himself as a national hero, a defender of China's interests against a bullying West whose destiny to return the country to its proper place on the world stage. Trump calls his program Make America Great Again. She labels it the China's dream. Sure, she spoke the usual promise to continue opening up and to champion globalization.